Hello, friends. Molly Ponfidith here, CEO of the SOAR Community Network and co-founder of the SOAR Community Nebula. Our goal is to bring you 1,000 champions of change and community builders, and today I am delighted to share with you a new friend that I recently met, Michelle Davis Younger. Thank you so much for being with us, Michelle.
Thank you, Molly. Thank you so much for having me. I am looking forward to this and been waiting to get back connected with you again.
I'm so happy that we did. So I'd love to start by having you reintroduce yourself, to our community and talk a little bit about the work that you're currently doing through your business to support your community.
Okay. I am located in Manassas, Virginia. My business is the One for HR LLC, HR being human resources. My background, I've done nothing, I think, since the time I could walk, deal with people. People, I believe, is my gift that God gave me to help people, meet people where they are, see them to the next level. And it's all I've done my whole entire career. I went to college, got degrees and all of that, and just worked in human resources. So my business is twofold, actually. I go into small businesses that don't have or can't afford an entire HR department. So I will just come in on a 1099 basis and meet their needs where they are. If they need a handbook written, if they need performance reviews, training, that type of thing. And I'm in and out. They call me the save the day lady because I come in, do what you need, and then I'm out. And you call me when you need me, kind of thing. And then the other side of the business, which is my passion, and I love that I just think I've done this forever. I'm a good writer, so I can write well, and I can speak well, and I can help people. What do? And so I started writing resumes for people, and then I added interview coaching and career coaching into that as well. But I conduct workshops around my city. I've done that forever as well. As soon as I could put it together, I'd always find locations, and people would donate hours to me. I would pay for an hour and then somebody say, I'll give you an extra hour. So that way people could get the most impact. So resume writing, love it. That's what I would do every day, all day, if it paid a bunch of money, but I got bills, so I have to do the other side of the house as well. And then I was recently elected to my Manassas City Council, and so I'm able to meet a lot more people being in that position, and my reach has gotten a lot wider, meeting you as a result of that. I've been able to get in contact with a lot more people and reach a lot more people to have more platforms to present my resume writing, which gets people to the next level. So that's what I'm all about, is trying to elevate and get people where they want to be and be happy.
Thank you for committing your resources and your time and your energy to not only building a business that can sustain you, but also paying it forward to communities that may not be able to afford it right now, but They will one day because of your efforts to support them in finding the choice of their dreams. So let's talk now about some of the folks in your life that have perhaps shown you some extra love and empathy and mentorship along the way. Is there anyone, or perhaps just a collection of stories that come to mind that you can share with us about someone else coming in and helping you when they didn't need to really guide you and support you and make you the person, the woman that you are today?
Well, there are several. Being a woman of faith, church folks, and you get those people. I believe people come into your life for lessons and blessings, and I don't believe in accidental meetings. So everybody that I meet is like, okay, they came into my life to show me this. They may not be in my life now, but at some point you see something that they left behind. There was a lady early on that I just thought was the bee's knees when it came to human resources. And I thought, man, I would just love to be like that and become an HR director. And I made that level, which was awesome. Then I'm like, okay, what's next? And then it's entrepreneurship and owning my own business. But it would be hard for me to name one person because there's so many people in my life that have come along and just blessed me. And I'm always a big believer in, you're blessed to be a blessing. You're given things so you can give back. And so that's always been part of my life. My parents have been amazing examples of that, and I've been that for my children as well, is that God gives you things and you give back. And you keep giving, and it isn't always monetary, and that's hard for people to understand now, is that everything isn't about money. It's about your time and talent. And so you give where you can. If you don't have money, then you go volunteer and you go work somewhere. And that's always kind of been my thing. But I've always surrounded myself with people like that. It's just really hard. There's been so many teachers, and now I have mentors that are guiding me. I still never think I'm too big to seek out, a mentor type, but my pastor is awesome. My sister, who's now passed away, she always was like my guiding force in everything. I'd go to her, what do you think about this? And it didn't matter. It could be the craziest thing ever, but she'd be like, you can do it. If anybody can do it, you can do it. So people like that, just coming into your life and seeing them for what they're bringing. Everybody's not perfect, but they're all bringing something to you, and you have to have the foresight to know, I need to remember that. I need to glean from that. Some things are bad. I will not do that, so being able to have that discernment also it is a gift as well. So not necessarily one person. There's been a group to make me.
Well, as you think about community builders and change agents, and people who are really out there, again, creating these positive ripple effects for their communities, when you meet them and you hang out with them and you think of them, what are some of the characteristics and attributes you most admire and that you feel are consistent?
The having recently gone through my very first election and running a campaign, oh my gosh, I really had no idea. And I had really good running mates. There's one in particular who's actually leaving the council and leaving us and moving out of the area. But he brought to me transparency and good governance and being honest. And you don't really hear that too much with politicians. I've never considered myself a politician, and that's what most people said they wanted, was somebody who was not a politician and just like us sitting on that council. So I go to him and go, how do you handle this when people are being so negative? And he said, you just keep being honest, you keep being transparent, and good always wins out. And you just have to keep going, and you can't stop. When you know you're doing the right thing, everybody's not going to like it and like your decisions. But you just keep going if you know you're doing the right thing, and everything works out in the end. So it's listening. You have to be able to listen and then apply that advice and not feel like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. But people are sent to you, again, to bless you and keep you in line with everything that you're doing.
Right. Well, you talked about the great work that you're doing, the paying it forward, and also your business. So let's maybe go into more detail about it, or perhaps highlight other things that you would like to feature today. How are you utilizing your gifts, your talents, your resources to advance other causes? So that's the next question. So are there causes or movements, initiatives, issues that resonate with you that you feel really committed to? For instance, why did you run for office? So let's talk about that. Like, what is it that you hope to accomplish now that you play this role?
It came to me. I never sought it out. If anybody said, in 2018 you'll be elected to city council, what is that? It came to me. The opportunity presented itself, and it just kept coming. And so I'm like, okay, God, this keeps coming to me. So I must listen, and there must be something here for me. The main thing, well, not the main thing, but one of the things that was pretty important was that there was never a woman of color that ever sat on the council, ever. And where we live in Manassas, it's diverse. It is, Hispanic, Black. I mean, you got everything. And the council did not look like that. And so that's what I kept hearing was, we need representation on that council. We don't feel comfortable coming there because nobody looks like us. And that was a big part of it, but just, again, not a politician, and somebody just Jane Q citizen out here trying to living and has a family and, obligations just like everybody else, but doesn't feel like she's above us and, better than us kind of thing. And so they pushed and pushed, and okay, I go and do it. And it's just been amazing. My thing is to give a voice to the voiceless. helpless, the people that haven't felt comfortable, as they said, taking that fear away from government. And it can be a scary place when you don't speak, English is not your first language, and there's barriers and all of that. I really, really, really want to break away some of that and feel like, this is a great place. There are good jobs here. They pay well. You need to attend the meetings. This is your tax money. You are paying these taxes and letting me have free reign. That's just like handing me your checkbook and saying, go spend, and we don't care what you do with it. You need to get more involved. So my thing is trying to get more involvement and removing that fear and that barrier of government that people have built up, like it's a big scary thing that we can't go to. And so I've been able to do some of that, and I just want to try to create bridges. I don't see party, I see people. I don't care if you're R or D behind your name, you're a person, and human resources, I can't help it. I'm all about people. It's just in me. And I want to try to just build bridges and see people get along to get things done for the betterment of the city. And that's what it's all about. I've been here my whole life, so it's about time I gave back.
That's powerful. I think it's very important that you really spoke truth to the whole R and D after your name. Really it comes down to what we all really want and need at the end of the day. And if we can't even talk about those common things that matter to all of us,
yes,
because of the party lines, then we're never going to be able to move forward as a community and as a society. So breaking those barriers, I really appreciate your attempt to do it, because we certainly need it.
Yes, we do.
So Michelle, let's talk now about some of the tough times that we all go through in life, right? We all have had ups and downs. We've all been through stuff, and some painful stuff, perhaps. Is there a mantra, a philosophy, quote, or perhaps scripture that you rely on to ground you and to give you or to refuel you for those moments to move forward?
There are several, but there's one that I've been through some rough stuff, and because of my faith, I never give up, and I know God is always guiding everything I do. And you have to have a testimony, but mostly you have to share it. If you sit on it and what you've been through and don't share it, nobody's going to grow from it. And what's the point? And so you'll keep going through things until you get it, like, oh, I'm supposed to tell people about what I've been through. Don't be ashamed. And when you're going through, don't be ashamed to say, hey, I'm having a tough time and I need some help. That was hard for me because pride was a huge thing for me. But now it's like, okay, I need help. I need to unplug. I got to get away. But my quote, I guess you could say, I have several scriptures, but the quote is, and especially nowadays when everybody wants things instantaneously, the elevator to success is out of order. You must take the steps. And so that I just keep saying, it's not right now. It's coming though. It's not right now. You got to take the steps. I want to jump from A to, D, but I haven't done B, C, so I see it and I know it, but everything is in time and you have to wait for it. And so there's no quick to success, and people just think they see you now where you are. And I always say, don't judge this book by the chapter you're looking at now, because all those other chapters were pretty rocky. And as I was saying, last year, and I found my sister dead in her home, and that's my only sibling, and to go through something like that, and that was in the middle of like campaigning and deciding what I was going to do. I had to keep going. And so she would probably come back and kick my butt if I hadn't run, because she would, as I said, was my biggest supporter and would never have wanted me to stop. So keeping all of that in mind and pushing and moving forward, that's what it is. There is no quick to it. You have to put in the time, you have to put in the effort. And it just seems trying to get through to the kids now is like, just don't turn it on and you have to put the time in. They want to start at the CEO position. And I'm like, no, sometimes you got to start in the mailroom. And those stories are real, that people that started in the mailroom and worked their way up, that still exists. So that keeps me going. And as I said, my church family, my pastor is awesome. And I'll just sometimes email him and say, say a prayer because today's rough, that kind of thing. But I draw on the strength of my friends, and I don't mind sharing that, hey, this is a bad day, or, just send me something quick. And I look on Facebook a lot for the good, positive thoughts that come through and those memes that are really good. And I share them. I find that I feel better when I share things with other people, and then they'll come back and say, I needed this today. How did you know? I didn't know. I just shared it. And a lot of times I'm speaking to myself and trying to keep myself, going. So that's really my thing. The elevator to success is out. You must take the steps.
Well, I just feel compelled to say I'm very sorry for your loss with your sister.
Thank you.
And I'm also grateful that it's fueled you to move forward and to live full speed.
Yeah.
With everything you've got. So thank you for that. So the next question I have for you is, if you could imagine a better world, what would it look like through your eyes?
Oh my gosh, that's a tough one. Where do you come up with this stuff? A better world, I think, where it would be a world rid of as I said before, the R's and D's, and everybody just, it's funny because we all want the same thing. And why it has to be divided is beyond me. If people would just work toward common goals, talk more. Social media is great, but wow, has it ever just destroyed that good old talking and sitting down and just discussing and hearing and listening. And it's really tough, but it would be a place where everybody had a seat and everybody was heard, no matter what their background, no matter what their education, where they come from, anything like that, but just having a voice and being respected for having an opinion and coming forward. But it would be a place where we would all listen, not that we would implement everything, but that people would be respected and heard for what they're bringing. Yeah.
Well, Michelle, how can our community support you right now? If there's one or two things that you would like to request of our community, how can we best advance your mission and your purpose?
Well, I get the most, I guess, pleasure when I've helped people. Employment is huge for me. Seeing people when families, when mom isn't working or dad isn't working, there's a hole. Somebody's not eating dinner. Somebody's not getting the supplies they need for school. But reaching out to me for resume help or employment help, however I can. Those drives, there's several drives going on for back to school supplies, and find one in the community and give it, because it's so needed. And just people who need help, don't worry about how can I pay for this. You just have to reach out. So anybody, for me, it's helping anybody try to get to the next level, whatever that is. If they need a resume done, if they need interview practice, if they just need help looking for work, or if I know of anything, come to me and let me know, because that's where I feel like I'm doing my most good, and just being able to help people get to the next level.
That's great. Well, what's the best way for people to connect with you and find out more about you?
My website is the1THE4FORHR.com, and it's the1forhr@gmail.com is my email address. So pretty easy. Some people try to make it complicated, but it's just simple. The1forhr.com is the easiest way to get in touch with me. And I would love to help anybody who needs it. Just ask for the help, and I'll do my level best to be there.
Well, Michelle, thank you so much for being you.
Thank you.
For putting your heart, your soul, your energy into your role as a civic leader, right? Those are choices that we make. So thank you for making that very, very difficult choice to support all of us and to give us a voice. And thank you also for sticking to HR, right? For taking care of people's needs, people first. And I think that is something that we all need to come back to. So I appreciate you all around for everything that you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. For those that are watching, please remember to nominate yourself or someone in your community who's making a huge difference in your life and the lives of others. please visit us at nebula.soarcommunitynetwork.com. Thank you, everyone, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Bye.